I had a great question come in from someone who wants to take their vacation in Ireland a little bit slower. If that sounds like something you're interested in, you'll get all the tips in today's podcast. Hi, I'm so glad you've joined me again here on the Traveling in Ireland podcast. Today if you've been listening a while, I feel like I'm kind of repeating myself, kind of a broken record, because I seem to say slow down, do less, experience more, almost like it's a personal Ireland travel mantra. And I suppose it kind of is, because I've mentioned this a few times, but I have made every travel mistake there is to make during my Ireland adventures. And if you go back to episode 231, I actually shared a lot of those mistakes and advice on how not to make those mistakes for yourself. Um, but even though I know all these mistakes and I know how to avoid them, I still struggle not to repeat them with every single trip I take. My husband and I we were just in Ireland a couple weeks ago. We got back. And even then, I mean, this was probably my 42nd trip. And even then, I really had to struggle with slow down. Enjoy where you're at. Don't worry about what you could be, might be, maybe are missing. It's really hard, especially when you're super excited about being somewhere. It's never too early to begin your own Ireland vacation planning, and I have the resources to help you with every step. The Planning Your Ireland Vacation series guides you step by step to create your own amazing Ireland vacation. You'll find answers to all of your Ireland travel questions, including the best time to visit, how to get around, and even how to plan an itinerary, as well as some you may not have thought of yet. To see the entire series in order, visit IrelandFamilyVacations.com/planning. PLANNING. So I received this really terrific question, and I thought it was worth addressing again because, I, again, it's something I struggle with, and when I work with itinerary reviews and coaching clients, this is something that we really talk about a lot and break down the how fast people want to actually move, what their travel pace is, and really how they feel about travel in general. So it's almost like being a travel therapist. Anyway, the question I received was, I want my time to be my own, but I don't want to feel like I'm rushing from place to place just to fill the must-see tourist squares. Any suggestions on how to spend 2 weeks slowly? This is a really great question. A 2 week vacation is just a tiny bit longer than average. So it's a great amount of time. But the tips I'm going to share can be used whether you're there 5 days, 7 days, 10 days, a month. It all works out the same. So, kind of when you're thinking about how to plan an Ireland vacation without the rush, I revert to the 10 steps I use to plan an Ireland itinerary. And I shared those in podcast episode 249. Those steps, in a nutshell, are the first, to visualize your trip. You're going to use a map and you're going to circle every place that's on the list that you're starting with. And then you're going to divide that map of Ireland into quadrants. You can go straight up and down, straight left and right. I usually add a little bit of a tilt to mine from the north-south, so it goes more northeast to southwest. But you can make those quadrants fit however you want, just divide it into quadrants. The next thing you'll do is you'll check for groupings of attractions and things you want to do. Then you're going to get travel distances, and you can just kind of centralize these, but from point to point, when you're going more than, more than maybe 30 kilometers, get those travel distances. And then you're going to calculate the drive times correctly. And again, episode 249, I go into that in detail. Then you're going to determine how much drive time you really are okay with. And then you'll think about how often you really want to change accommodation, because changing accommodation comes with unpacking, repacking, loading the car, unloading the car. Depending on the luggage in the car, it can feel like a game of Tetris a little bit. So you really want to take all of that into consideration. So before you begin with step one, which is visualizing your trip, you want to think about a few things: where you're arriving to and departing from. So this is hugely important if you're arriving in Ireland early in the morning after an overseas flight. You don't want to drive very long, very far that first day. I personally recommend no more than 90 minutes, but you do want to be able to be active and combat that jet lag. And then on the last evening, you want to be within easy driving distance of the airport, especially if your flight leaves early in the morning. And I talked about that in episode 246, kind of giving an overview of how to choose your accommodations for that final night in Ireland. Then you want to think about what's on your personal must-see list. And I say your personal list because I work with so many people and I receive so many questions that say, a friend told me we must go here, or I was told that this is something I really should see. And when you hear these suggestions, what I want you to think about is, do those really interest you? Or are you only adding them because somebody told you that you had to, or you needed to, or that it was a must do? Each place that you visit should be because you want to. It's ticking your own personal box. It doesn't matter if somebody else says, you went to Ireland and you didn't see the cliffs of Moher. Who cares? It's an island. There's cliffs everywhere. Um, the cliffs of Moher just happen to be the most famous. But each place you visit should be on your list because you want to see it. And you should know why it's on your list. Um, and it's okay if it is a place that people might consider touristy. And it's also okay if people look at your itinerary and they say, I've never heard of anything at all on your list. All that matters is that it fits what you want to do and experience on your trip. And then you need to think about your own interests. So if you enjoy history, art, music and dance, outdoor adventure, I want you to think about how each place you're going, thing you're doing, fits into what actually interests you. If you can fit some of your hobbies and interests into your Ireland vacation, it's going to make it that much more enjoyable for you. Obviously there are going to be things that may not, tick every box for you, but you could also be one of those people who says, you know what, I've seen two castles. I've seen a Norman castle. I've seen an Irish tower house, and I don't need to see any more castles. And that is okay. Some people don't like castles that much. Other people want to stop at every single castle there is, whether it's, fully restored or just a small square of land where a castle used to be. And that's okay too. But it's knowing what interests you and what really doesn't matter. So, as long as you know those three things, then you start working through those 10 vacation planning steps that I listed, and you begin marking your map. And you'll be able to see what works in your time frame and what doesn't. When you know the drive times and the travel times and how long something's going to take. And don't forget to put in the amount of time that you're going to spend at each place. That's another mistake that I find a lot, is people say we're going to go here and here and here and here. And then I look at it and I say, okay, well, how are you going to actually visit, or are you just stopping to take a picture? Because right now, what you've got is just enough time to take a picture and go to get to this next place if you're going to fit them all in while everything's open. So super important to think about that as well. I also want to say that if an area really resonates with you as you plan, then stay an extra day or two. Let's say that you have a couple of spots in the southeast, maybe Dunbrody Abbey and their incredible hedge maze, and maybe the Hook Head Lighthouse, right? There's so much more in that area. And as you start researching, you might find that there's a lot that you would like to see, do, and experience down there. So as you start adding more and more locations around those main spots that you want to visit, I want you to think about what it might feel like to leave there without experiencing all the things that you've found. You want to kind of, keep in mind this is what I enjoy, and know that experiences in other areas of the country may be very similar. So let's say that you want to visit, I don't know, a garden, like a really amazing garden, and you have heard that Powers Court, absolutely fabulous garden. But if you're in the southeast, Lismore Castle Gardens are incredibly beautiful as well. And they're closer to those things that you're wanting to do in Wexford, because they're just over in Waterford. So it's well worth thinking about, I'm interested in this type of activity. Can I find it close to where I'm doing all these other things? If this episode made you smile, dream of green fields, or even crave a pint, why not share it with a travel buddy? Or leave a wee review where you listen. It's like buying me a virtual pint of Guinness, only cheaper. And then you want to also remember that very little in Ireland absolutely has to be booked. So it allows you to have some flexibility and some fluidity into your itinerary as well. So if you go to episode 212, I talk about what has to be booked in Ireland. Finally, I want you to remember that you're not going to miss the places that you didn't see. You may wonder what they were like. You may wonder what the experience would have been like. But what I have found over and over again is if I put too much in my schedule or I book things in and I know I have to leave, if I'm really enjoying a place and I have to leave it for something else, 9 times out of 10, I regret cutting the visit that I was really, really enjoying short to go do something that actually didn't excite me as much once I was there. Whether you're a slow traveler or you just really don't want to feel rushed, I hope that these tips will help you as you create the itinerary that is just right for your trip to Ireland. If you enjoyed this podcast, please leave a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. If you can't leave a review on your podcast app, you can visit the Ireland Family Vacations page on Facebook and leave a review there, or visit Trustpilot at irelandfamilyvacations.com/trust and just say something nice. I would really appreciate it. If you have questions or comments, you can email me, Jody, Jody, at irelandfamilyvacations.com. As always, thank you so much for listening, and until next time, slán go fóill.